Alex Hawkins and George Plimpton at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. More than 60,000 looking on. Tonight's first game between the Sharks and the New York Jets. 5 WFL teams saw action last night, and a lot of excitement across the country in those. First and 10, New York on the star 34, Tom Sherman. Almost intercepted by Ike Lassiter, number 77, who is 6'5" and 270. And how many passes has Ike Lassiter knocked down in his career?
He's a big boy. 6'5", 260. Watch him get his hands up. They're trained to through the years. He just blew off that blocker and got his hands up there. Just like he's supposed to.
Al Young, the intended receiver on the play. Second down and 10 on the 34-yard line of the New York Stars. Tom Sherman, who quarterbacked Penn State in a Gator Bowl game, running the Stars. A quickie over the middle, incomplete. Gladjo was in the area, and Ray Parsons, the tight end. And the New York Stars look up and down the sideline now here at the Gator Bowl.
He's a boy we haven't mentioned, but we will a little more because you're going to see him doing some things before the year is over. Ray Parsons. This is just his second year, and he was drafted by Detroit. Because of Charlie Sanders, they moved him to tackle, but he's an excellent blocker, and he's a good short-range pass receiver. He's a fine football player.
This is Sherman. To the sideline, Al Young. Al Young, the ex-Pittsburgh Steelers star, 13 yards to the sideline.
All right, we'll take a look at the young man from South Carolina State. He's a good receiver. Babe had him when he was coaching at Pittsburgh. He knows he can play. Nothing wrong with that.
The two men in the same area there, is that a designated design play, or is that just...
No. Something wrong with that one.
Something wrong with that.
Or it doubles your chance.
Good, strong running by Jim Ford across the midfield stripe for a gain of 8. Fred Abbott, the left side linebacker, the former Minnesota Viking, and an All-American from Notre Dame, Mike Townsend, on the tackle. Next Thursday night, Portland at Memphis, and we'll be there to bring it to you 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central Time on TBS, America's #1 independent television network. No score, second quarter, 14-16 left to play in the half. The double win. The inside handoff to Ford, 40, 35, 30, 28-yard line of Jacksonville. Jim Ford used to be with the New Orleans Saints and the Oilers. Stopped by Davis and Townsend.
All right, that's one of the few parts. You've got the tackle trapping on this one. That's an unusual thing when a tackle can get out in front of that. Again, it's Mike Herkenhoff. Ford, a good strong runner, been trouble with injuries nearly all year.
And a 14-yard pickup and a first down. Sherman to throw. Overshooting his man, Al Young. Good coverage by Alvin Wyatt, 41. So Sherman going for the downs, going for the corner. Al Young, who had some fine games for the Steelers and will no doubt be one of the primary receivers for the New York Stars. So it's second and 10. The ball at the 28-yard line of the Jacksonville Sharks, and still no score in the second quarter. All right, wide to the right, Bob Hermani, number 7. Bud Asher, the head coach of Jacksonville, looking on. Hermani is now in. He'll be at the top of your screen. Sauer at the bottom of the screen. The draw. And Gladjo inside the 25 for 7. The ball being spotted on the 21-yard line. Fred Abbott on the tackle. 35 is Bob Gladjo. Boy, has he got a new lease on life, and he is running like he really wants to stay.
That's the most unusual way of making a team, the way he made it in New England. He got called out of the stands right at the kickoff to come on and get in his Patriots uniform. Literally, loudspeaker called him back in the locker room.
No kidding.
Third down and 3. In motion, Richard. Sherman back over the middle, and a great catch by Johnson. He might make it at the 5. He is ducked on the 2. Ray Parson, the big tight end, gain to the 2-yard line. Townsend made the stop.
All right, we'll watch him now. Ray Parsons, number 85. You watch him faking a block, letting him clear that whole area there, and then he goes underneath it. Big, strong boy, too.
A gain of 26 yards on this one, and he almost made it. except for Mike Townsend, the former Notre Dame star.
Hope you'll say something more about that guy called out of the stands. That worries everybody up here.
I'm going to leave it alone after that. I might go a little bit deeper into it.
First and goal. New York, Jacksonville 2. Sherman trying to throw for it, in trouble. Now does throw out of the end zone, just throwing the ball away. He had number 48, Dave Richards, in the back of the end zone, but he was well covered, and Sherman just simply threw it where nobody could get to it. It'll be second and goal on the 2-yard line. And what about him?
Got scramblers everywhere. Big rush there, but the primary delay of this reason the play didn't work is because we've got nobody open anywhere. Great job on the secondary there. Scrambling every leg, don't they, Merle?
Yes, they do. And number 55, Fred Abbott, really had the chase on him. So Sherman knew what to do. He dumped it. Top for the Jacksonville forward wall, Dave Richards. No gain. And look at that Jacksonville defense. Black shirts everywhere. Richards going nowhere at all. Third down, goal to go. The ball at the 2-yard line. Third pop of the game for the Stars. No score, 11:28 to go in the first half in Jacksonville. On our WFL Game of the Week. Al Young to the left. The ends are in tight. We have 2 tight ends with Carson and Askin. Richards at the 1. That's all. 51. Glenn Gaspard, the rookie linebacker from Texas. He's just barely inside the 1.
Well, let's take a look at this again. You're going to see they think they can run on that left side. Ben May and Art May, but they're holding in there pretty good. Gaspard is the fine football player. He's a rough, tough middle linebacker.
All right, for New York, 4th and goal to go. You see the ball in the 1. Can the Sharks hold it? Bob Cousy over the ball. He didn't make it. The Sharks hold. Dave Richards stopped by Glenn Gaspard. This crowd of 60,000 standing on its feet and applauding the Sharks defense. The Sharks will take over.
If you'll watch this now, number 16, Ron Kopenbarger. He's the one that does the damage. He makes a penetration, gets inside that blocker. What a great goal line stand.
With the timeout on the field, the score, the New York Stars nothing, the Jacksonville Sharks nothing.
Son, I've been shaving 25 years, so here's a little advice. To get a good, clean electric shave, you need a really dry beard.
What's that?
And to get a really dry beard, you gotta wet it first with Williams Electric Shave.
I already use it.
Electric Shave dries your beard so your whiskers stand up. Both of them. Only kidding, son. Electric Shave puts it all together.
Oh, wow.
So to get a really close shave with less irritation, get a really dry beard. Wet it first with
Electric Shave!
That's my boy.
It's time to play $1 Million Answer. Our champion, Chester Gulrich, his category.
All and it'll belong to Jacksonville on the Sharks 1-yard line. And Alex, tell George about Glad Joe coming out of the stand.
Truth of the matter is, Glad Joe and a teammate of his, I can't remember the name right now, were cut prior to the opening game several years ago of the Patriots team. His partner he was sitting with at the ball game, they were at the opening game, went down to get some hot dogs, came back. In the meantime, Glad Joe had been called to the locker room, signed, put in uniform, and was public address system had him making the opening kickoff tackle.
The Sharks ball. Stevenson at quarterback. Quarterback sneaks, trying to get a little running room, and he gets out to the 3. A gain of 2. Tom Chandler on the stop.
What sort of a game did he play?
So he played super.
He was hungry.
Didn't have that hot dog in his stove.
Second down, 8 yards to go. The ball out on the 3-yard line. You know, one of the amazing things I think of this game, we have had 1 penalty.
That's it. That's not bad execution, though, Merle, for this time of year. These boys not being together but about 5 weeks.
10 minutes to go in the first half. The ends are tight. 1 wide receiver left, and Stevenson at quarterback out of the eye. Tommy Durrance across the 10. Tommy Durrance to the 13. A 9-yard gain.
All right, there's a block by Lakes there, and Durance can turn it on. A lot of people were surprised. When he came out of the University of Florida, he didn't go immediately into playing pro football. He's a good, smooth runner.
And he got a little more than that. First down. The first down with the ball out on the 12-yard line, just across the 12. So Jacksonville with the ball. White and Cheek are the guards. Gagner and Cornish the tackles. And the handoff going to Ron Lamb, the fullback. And we have flags everywhere on a busted play. And Babe Parilli, the head coach of the New York Stars, who went to the Super Bowl with the New York Jets as a player and has been backfield coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the personal coach of Terry Bradshaw for the last 3 years. Now running his own team as the head coach. A back in motion, illegal motion by the Jacksonville Sharks. And number 81, Tony Lomax, comes back in as a wide receiver, and Tom Whittier, 83, goes out. So the penalty declined. It'll be second down and 9 yards to go as Bud Asher talks with his staff. He's on the headset with one of his coaches up in the press box. 2nd and 9. Stevenson, Durance, plunging to the 20. 5-yard pickup on the play. Lomax out front blocking.
As we watch it again, you'll see Durance just bounce outside. The block was not made on the linebacker that time. As you see, he was in position, but he got too low. Durance just took advantage of that little opening outside.
And he is finally brought down. Sims and Boston out there on the stop. Third down, about 3.5. The ball is on the 19-yard line of the Jacksonville Sharks. Big play for the Sharks to keep possession. Stevenson, Durance. And good pursuit for the New York Stars with Tom Chandler, the left side linebacker, leading the charge in a gain of 1, and 4th down coming up at almost 3. The ball set on the 19-yard line, so it's still 3 yards for a first down. And the punting unit comes on with number 2, Dwayne Carroll. Moving on for the Jacksonville Sharks. Going back deep, Dave Richards, the all-purpose back for the New York Stars. Fine running back. It's on the special teams.
George, you a little surprised they haven't returned any punts with this new rule in effect?
Yeah. Of course, it was good to see that coffin corner kick, wasn't it?
I like that.
It's the first one I've seen in years, at least on purpose.
Well, the Sharks decide they want to call timeout now to talk it over before they put this ball in the air on a punt. So there's a timeout on the field and the score. The New York Stars nothing, the Jacksonville Sharks nothing.
When you buy a beer, we think you have a right.
Big national specials, NCAA regional games and the top conference games. And the top conference games in your area highlight college basketball 75 on TBS. It should be the biggest year ever with all the top teams appearing. The action starts December 20th with Notre Dame at UCLA. So for the best in live sports coverage all year round, it's the TBS television network, America's #1 independent television network. All right, that's Carroll on the kick and Richards on the other end at the 45. And he is dropped on the 44 by number 61, Mike Craney. So, a -1. And we have an injury on the field as Richards is getting up very, very slowly. So, Richards possibly had the wind knocked out of him on the return there. There's no score, 7:28 to go in the first half.
We'll take a look at it and see how we got the injury. He was trying to get behind that wall forming on the left. Dave Richards, as we said, is not a big back. Didn't know how durable he was. Almost a face mask there, it looks like to me. Not quite. Let's see if we can pick it up right. No, I can't see anything. I think it's probably... No, it's no knee. That's good news.
Yeah, you really hate to see the injuries anytime, and it looks like Richards is going to be okay.
I think probably...
George ought to know how it feels to get whacked pretty good with the ball.
George had a great rushing record when he was up there. Tell him how much yardage you gained as a quarterback up there.
Oh, 23 yards, but I'm ashamed to say that 15 of those yards were on a roughing the passer penalty.
Who hit you?
that big fellow Mitchell,
Jim Mitchell?
Jim Mitchell of Detroit, and it was hot the way it is tonight, and I don't think he wanted to show me what life in the league was all about, so he let me know.
When you quarterbacked the Lions and those linemen on the other side looked across at you, didn't you shake a little bit?
Oh, it was sheer terror.
At halftime, Commissioner Gary Davidson, highlights of last night's games, and the WFL salute to the World's Fair. Here we go. The eye. Ford has replaced Richard. Ford in motion. Gladjo across the 45 to the 46 for a pair. Thoman and Gaspard. And there's a look at Dave Richards.
Yeah, blinking his eyes a little bit.
How many fingers?
Could be that. Didn't look like he got hit in the head that far. Oh, you always like to see him get up, though.
So it'll be second down. 8 yards to go. Al Young, 31, going to the top of your screen. George Sauer, number 9, to the bottom of your screen for New York. And the quarterback is Tom Sherman. And now the tight end, Parsons, goes into the slot right. Ford trying to keep his balance. Chopped down at the 46. No gain as Jim Ford was hit by Tatarek and Glenn Gaspard.
Merle, we have mentioned that Jim Ford is a veteran. He's played 3 years, and I've seen him play some awfully good football when he was with the Saints and Oilers. He was been trouble in training camp. He's had injuries to both legs, and then he got stung by a bee and was out. His temperature went up to some ridiculous amount, and he was out for almost a week with that. He's had a slow training camp so far, but he's a fine runner.
Tom Sherman at quarterback. Pass knocked down. 76 came firing through there. Bob Tatarek, 88, Benjamin Mays. And Vernon Vanoy.
All right, we'll take a look at it here. Bob Tatarek and Vern Vanoy both making good penetration there. They're big, strong boys. Once again, the defense is usually at this time of the year way ahead of the offense.
I was going to ask that. We all thought it was going to be a high-scoring game, but it's not.
I know you get tired of coaches saying that, but it really is the truth. The defense was just more good defensive personnel than our offensive linemen around. They just come along faster. It takes years to build that offensive line.
Robbie Richards' punt is a good one. And it'll be taken on about the 13-yard line. Great return. On the way. Alvin Wyatt, touchdown. Alvin Wyatt, an 87-yard touchdown run, a 42-yard kick. Alvin Wyatt, 87 yards.
Take a look at this again. Alvin Wyatt, what a player he is. He's run a lot of them back, brother. Give him a step. He is one more competitor. And don't those people love it here? That's a long way to run this time of year in this heat, too. Let's take a look at it again. As you see, him just barely kept that ball from going out of bounds. The key block there, and the good runners you don't need but one, just a little hole. And he breaks the tackle there. Look at him go, but you know he's going to be tired this time of year, George, and he'll take it out of you, won't you?
Oh, my, that was offense for you right there. Just as soon as we finish talking about offense, he provides it.
It's incredible what important parts that special teams can play in you. Well, the outcome of a game. Don Shula first recognized it a long time ago, and he's taken advantage of the special teams throughout the year.
There's Alvin Wyatt, the guy who really turned it on for more than 60,000 fans in the Gator Bowl with an 87-yard touchdown run. And the Jacksonville Sharks lead by 7-0, and you are about to see the first action point on television. He is really a happy man. He's got it all right there.
Yes, sir. That's one of the 5 players from Bethune-Cookman on that ball club. Now, how do you figure that one?
Who was coached by Bud Asher at Bethune-Cookman. Now the action point. That line you see in George Plimpton, what color is that line down there on the 3?
That is called International Orange. It's supposed to be the most vivid of the colors of all of them. That's what they use for light reverse.
Here's another one of your specialties over here.
The Fireman's Fun. That's a band from San Francisco that sort of punctuates the play down there with special tunes.
The action point, they got to run it or pass it. They cannot kick it. It's only worth one, however. A catch incomplete, out of bounds. Lomax, he was over the end line of the end zone. And it'll be a 7-0 ball game.
I will see it again. This is the first of the many action points you'll see this year. There really wasn't anybody open on that. It was a good adjustment there by Lomax, who is a good receiver, but it just, nope, the coverage was there.
So the action point is missed. The ball is placed on the 3-yard line. It has to be either run over or passed over. No kick in the WFL. The action point is missed, and the score with 5:47 to go in the first half. Jacksonville has taken the lead by a score of 7-0. Grant Guthrie will be kicking off for the Sharks. A wild 87-yard punt return by Alvin Wyatt. Really let this crowd cut it loose. A crowd of over 60,000 in the Gator Bowl. Jim Ford will take over for Dave Richards as the deep man. For New York is Grant Guthrie, a great favorite in Florida, having played his college ball in this state. And that's Jimmy Ford, who will be the deep back in a single safety. And George Plimpton, I think you should have run at least one punt back. Here comes Guthrie. Jimmy Ford. The 11, 20. And a reverse after the ball is flipped back to Brannon, and a return of 13 yards.
Alex, what made that great punt return work? Was it the blocking there, the sort of picket line blocking?
Wait, let me get through this replay here. You'll see the kick here now. New York will be doing a lot of that this year. You see the handoff there to Gladio. He can either fake it or turn it around there. And he threw it out to Bob Hermani, who has got better speed than anybody on their ball club. No running room. Probably the idea that the kick wasn't particularly high and was over on one side of the field. It just took one block. He just spread it by the coverage, overran it in the middle of the field.
First down, 23-yard line of New York. Tom Sherman up the middle. He's got a man open. Gladio out of the backfield to the 45-yard line. He's out to the 47. A 23-yard pickup on the play, and Sherman wastes no time in getting the Stars rolling, who are now trailing 7-0.
All right, we'll see it here. Number 85 taking an inside release. Ray Parsons. You see him get right in the little seam in the dead area there. The ball is there. As we said before, he's not the deep receiver that you like to have, but he's a good, reliable, good hands and catch a ball in a crowd on you.
And you got to put me down for two now. As I said, Gladio 35, Parsons 85 on the reception. First down, New York, 47-yard line. Inside handoff to Ford, and look at him get smothered by that defensive unit for the Jacksonville Sharks. A loss of 6 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 16. Thoman, the linebacker. Tatarik, the tackle.
We'll take a look at it right here. Just great penetration there. Let me see if I can get that number. Defensive left tackle looks like 74 or 76. Might have been Tatarik. That's who it was. He's a good football player.
2nd down, 16, 4:19 to go in the first half. Jacksonville leading 7-0. Sherman incomplete, intended for Al Young on a slant in, and we got a flag.
Oh, it was a late flag, but it was a correct call.
Pass interference.
I believe White had his hands on him. I believe Alvin White had his hand on him. Let's take a look at it from the end zone. You be the judge. There you see. I believe you can see contact there, can't you?
Alvin Wyatt against Al Young.
And
One more.
Another view of it. Let's see. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think, George?
Contact. Contact is my vote.
Correct call with the official.
Sherman to the air again. Incomplete. He overshot Al Young, flagging the play at the 13-yard line. Pass interference called against number 16, Ron Karpenberger. Al Young, the intended receiver. So Karpenberger is hit with a flag. Here is one of our camera units provided, our truck there provided by Chevrolet, and gives you a close-up view of what's happening right down on the field, in the huddle, along the line of scrimmage. Al Young, a tired man, has been running a lot of patterns tonight, and now the New York Stars want to talk it over. George Sauer number 9. 35 is Gladjo that you see there in the huddle. Number 70 is Herkenhoff, the fine rookie offensive tackle from the University of Minnesota. 72 is Rich Sharp, the other tackle. And on the New York sideline, Babe Perilli and his staff. Next Thursday night, it'll be Portland at Memphis, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time on TBS, America's #1 independent television network. Here in Jacksonville, Florida tonight, it's a hot, steamy night. 4 minutes and 9 seconds to go in the first half. And the New York Sharks lead, or rather the Jacksonville Sharks lead the New York Stars by a score of 7-0.
No, you were talking about that international orange they have down there on that action line. It's also the color of the stripe around the nose and tail of the football. In fact, they've got a yellow football there, which comes off on the quarterback's hands, I'm told. Alumino Golden, that yellow color is called, and it's got that international orange. It's supposed to be much easier to see and to catch than the regular night ball.
I'm telling you, George did his homework on the colors and the balls and the yard marker.
Well, I still haven't explained that yard marker right. We've got 2 more quarters to go.
You get it. First down, New York, 29-yard line at Jacksonville. Jim Ford, 2 yards. In the middle, the hard way. Mays, 88, is in on the tackle. 51, Glenn Gaspard. And Jimmy Ford, who played with the Saints and the Oilers out of Texas Southern, a 6-footer, 215 pounds. Gets 2, and it's second down and 8. Over 60,000 in the Gator Bowl tonight. And the Sharks lead 7-0 on an 87-yard punt return by Alvin Wyatt. Sherman to the far side, he overshoots Al Young. Alvin Wyatt had fallen down.
He sure had. The pass was just poorly thrown that time. I've been watching Tateric, and this guy's a real quick lineman. It's just amazing to me that Butler can stay with him. Butler just being a first-year man. He's doing a good job on him, but he's quick off the ball.
Al Young is going to the sideline now. Bob Hermani, number 7, is the alternate on either side behind Sauer or Al Young. So Hermani is going to the top of the screen, Sauer to the bottom. Sauer has caught 1 pass tonight. Jimmy Ford in motion. Good rush, pass away, caught by Sauer inside the 15 at the 14. Jerry Davis making the tackle, the number 84, May really leveled the quarterback.
All right, let's take a look at number 9, George Sauer, working on number 22, Jerry Davis. Good little old head and shoulder fake out to the outside. And how many times did he do that in the past?
How can you defend against a thing like that?
Well, the best you can. Use the best defense you got.
Thank you, Alex. Sorry, I was going to say he can't commit himself in front there, can he?
No, one-on-one, he made the good outside move. He just couldn't overcommit.
First down, a gain of 13 yards. Tom Sherman, Ford in motion. Sherman rolling, keeping. 10-yard line, 5-yard line, near the end zone, and at the goal line, just short of the goal line. Tom Sherman on the rollout. 14 yards, right down to the one.
Take a look at this again, and the key play here is he fakes there to Gladjo. Watch number 7 coming into the top of your picture. Number 7 makes it, the play go. Hermani just stays with his blocker. You see him rolling that corner man out there. Those receivers blocking downfield, how important it is.
But sometimes the best plays don't make it because there's a flag on the play, and you see the New York Stars walking dejectedly back upfield, the 5-yard walk-off to the 19-yard line, illegal procedure. And so the New York Stars, who were almost right there, in fact, they were there, but the penalty nullified the big gain of 14, and 5 to that cost him 19, actually. So it is first down at the 19-yard line. First and 15. Bob Hermani to the top of your screen, number 7. George Sauer to the bottom, number 9. Reverse, Hermani, the 20, 15, 10, 5. Dumped inside the 5-yard line. A Sauer block, but he couldn't get Jerry Davis out of there. A gain of 15 yards. And he might have the first down.
Just beautiful. They used a lot of that when I was in the training camps.
Little Bob Hermani, number 7, who's only 5'7", 160 pounds, from Montclair State. and he now goes to the sideline.
They wanted to release him all this year, Merle, but because of his size, he just wouldn't allow it. He's just a fine football player, great competitor. Babe Pirelli is really high on him.
It is first down and goal to go, and we have a 2-minute warning now as the clock has run down to the 2-minute mark. So we have the timeout with a 2-minute warning, and with the timeout on the field, the score: the Jacksonville Sharks 7, the New York Stars nothing.
Last year, Joey Chitwood's car started riding on a new kind of shock absorber. Over 4,000 total jumps. Over 32,000 road miles on the Sears Steady Rider. The shock that adjusts to heat when most others can't. The result? Not one Steady Rider failure or wear out.
It's Sears' best heavy-duty shock.
The Steady Rider. Only at Sears.
For his little girl, the Craftsman Type 1. Sears 3/8-inch drill was designed for men like Bob Miley. It puts out more power than other similar drills. It's reversible, has ball bearings at key stress points, and the variable speed control gives Bob the versatility he needs to put a circus wagon together. The Craftsman Type 1, the drill that's designed for the man who knows what he's doing.
Monsieur Meredith, the Monseigneur Penguin.
Alex, what are they going to do now, do you think?
They've been unsuccessful doing what they want to do. I'd go back to it and hope it worked a little better. They've been trying to run it Ben May and Art May, and they've been trying to put Herkenhoff, who they think is their finest blocker. Put Parsons over there and run to the left.
Gladjo on forward, the setback. Gladjo, hardly any gain at all to the middle. Number 55, Fred Abbott, is in on the tackle. He's the left side linebacker. And we've got an illegal procedure call. Ford was in motion, but he was not outside the tight end there when he made his cut. And the illegal procedure call. And it is first down and goal to go, and the ball is put back on the 8-yard line. And Ike Lassiter is coming in on the defensive line now for the Jacksonville Sharks.
George, I would say right now, Babe Pirelli likes to use the best personnel that he has, and he likes to utilize them as much as he can. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't do something with Ray Parsons. He's excellent at running the pick patterns down in that area, or else he'll try to double-team block with him. Let's try it and see.
And he's calling him back to talk it over with him.
I think Tom goes over and says, Babe, what do you want to do here? Do you want to go to Ray Parsons? He's been listening to you.
You reckon? You reckon he's turned in?
Over on the sideline, you see number 3 for the New York Stars. That's Pete Rajecki, the field goal kicker. And Babe Pirelli. I'll bet Babe enjoyed playing a lot more than coaching, though.
Babe would still like to play. He just loved the game. When I was up at the Stars training camp, he was throwing every morning, every afternoon. I think if he were an assistant coach, he would be.
All right, Tom Sherman has his orders. Number 19 as he comes back. 28 is Ford, 35 Gladjo, 9 is Sauer. And Al Young is wide to the right. Going to the left is Sauer. First down, goal, 1:56. Slant in. Young had it, couldn't hold it at the goal line. Number 42. Townsend, and 41 Wyatt in double coverage there on Al Young. And it'll be second down and goal to go.
It wasn't a bad idea, though.
Bob Hermani is coming in. The defense of the Jacksonville Sharks has really been tough tonight. That front four, 84 is May, 88 is Mays, 76 to Tarek, and 77 Lassiter. Very formidable up front. Second goal. Sherman rolling, 10, throwing now, incomplete in the end zone. And again, coverage, great coverage by Karpenbarger. And the intended receiver, 85, Ray Parson, the tight end. And now it is a third down, and there's number 3, Pete Rajecki, former star at the University of Georgia, was born in Germany, once kicked a 54-yard field goal for the University of Georgia.
Pete hit the ball awfully good last year when he was with Pittsburgh, but of course they had a good kicker in Jarrell, and it was really that close who they're going to keep. He's hitting the ball very well this year.
Third down and goal, a minute 45. Sherman, touchdown, George Sauer. Sauer split the two defensive backs for the touchdown. And George Sauer is back.
All right, let's take a look at number 9, George Sauer. He got the defensive back turn. The timing on that made it. They didn't take care of that free safety, but he hit that small area before you get to it. That's just right.
So it's a tie ball game. Now comes the action point from the 3-yard line. Remember, in the WFL, no kick for the extra point. You either run it over or pass it over. Score tied at 7. A minute 41 remaining in the first half. Sherman's going to go to the air.
It's going to work.
Not quite to George Sauer. And so, it'll stay tied.
Watch George Sauer here. Wide open on the play, but the ball's just a little bit high. Just a little bit high. A little later in the year, he'll get those.
Now with a minute and 41 seconds left to play in the first half. The New York Stars have tied the Jacksonville Sharks. Alvin Wyatt running 87 yards for a punt return for the Sharks. And, of course, George Sauer on the touchdown run. And there's George Sauer back to the sideline. After a 3-year layoff in retirement, he decided that he didn't want to play pro football anymore. And when Babe Parilli called him to join the New York Stars, in fact, Babe said the other day he was running 6 miles a day to really get in super condition. And it looks like he's there. This is Pete Rajecki. And the deep backs, Edgar Scott, number 6, and Solomon Brannon, number 34.
Did he actually call a play then, Alex? Have you collected his team just before kicking the ball? What is he telling them?
Who's that, Rajecki?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's in German. Watch him. He's a wedge breaker.
High end over end. At the 10-yard line, Edgar Scott. The 20, 25, 30. Across the 30 to the 33. A 22-yard kickoff return by Edgar Scott, who can really motor. And so we're down to a minute and a half to go.
George, take a look at number 3. That's my man, Pete Rajecki. He's about 5'7", about 150. Look at here. He's looking more... Oh, look at here. He is going to participate. No, he had an idea.
Change his mind at the last minute. I don't blame him.
He ain't no different than kickers all over the world.
First down, Jacksonville, 33-yard line. Kay Stevenson at quarterback. Incomplete. Intended for Edgar Scott coming out of the backfield, number 6. Steve Dennis on the coverage for the New York Stars from the secondary. There's Edgar Scott. He also played at Bethune-Cookman for Bud Asher, who is now the head coach of the Jacksonville Sharks.
I'll tell you, the boy can fly if he gets in the open field. He's their fastest player.
Head coach Babe Parilli of the Stars. Second down, 10 yards to go, 33-yard line of the Sharks. A minute 26 to go in the first half in a 7-7 game. Kay Stevenson. Incomplete. Intended. For the wide receiver, 83, Tom Whittier. And the coverage by James Sims, the great star from the University of Southern California.
The Star coaching staff, they just couldn't be higher on this James Sims. They think he's one of the finest athletes they had around this league anywhere. He's just a real physical specimen. Played at USC on, I think, a national champion team there.
Whittier has come out. Lomax is back in as a wide receiver. Third down and 10, Jacksonville. Fake draw. Play action. Back over the middle. Completed to the tight end, Hughes. Hughes across midfield to the 45-yard line. A 22-yard pickup. James Sims on the tackle. First down, Jacksonville at the New York Stars, and they spot the ball on the 46-yard line with a minute 5 seconds to go. And
caught him in the zone that time. Cleared out the zone area.
Stevenson sideline, stopping the clock, throwing to Edgar Scott. 54 seconds to go now with the clock stopped. And the score tied at 7-7. It'll be 2nd and 10 for Jacksonville. This will give Kay Stevenson a chance to maybe put a couple of plays on in the huddle there with 54 seconds remaining to go in the first half.
Stars using, as most teams do now, they're using a lot of variations of zone. They caught them using a lot of double zone that time. They drew Bowie on that completion, cleaned out the area, and Dennis Hughes is no rookie. He's a good, clever receiver. Not the biggest tight end in the world, but can catch a football.
Whittier wide right, big pursuit by New York. Stevenson running for his life, throwing to the safety valve. Lamb up the middle of the 40, on his feet, the 35. Dumped on the 32-yard line of the New York Stars. James Sims from the secondary, a 14-yard pickup and a first down with 39 seconds remaining. And this crowd of 60,000 really trying to help the Jacksonville Sharks keep it rolling because it is a partisan crowd, of course. 28 seconds now, first down. Stevenson for the sideline, stopping the clock. Edgar Scott, the intended receiver. Wendell Wilson covering, gave him a pretty good pop on the sideline. That'll stop the clock with 22 seconds remaining in the first half. If you're thinking field goal, remember, the goalpost is at the back of the end zone now. It's 10 yards longer than it used to be. 22 seconds remaining here in the Gator Bowl. The Stars 7 and the Sharks 7 on our WFL Game of the Week, sent to you across the country on TBS, America's #1 independent television network. I'm Merle Herman with Alex Hawkins and George Plimpton here in the Gator Bowl. Second down. Stevenson hit and dumped back on the 40-yard line. Good rush by John Elliott. Big Bad John of the New York Stars, the ex-Jet who stopped Stevenson for an 8-yard loss, and timeout is called for Jacksonville to stop the clock. And the clock officially showing now 10 seconds to go in the first half, with the score tied at 7-7. And to the sideline comes Kay Stevenson.
Last time I looked up, it was 22 seconds right before that. It couldn't have taken 12 seconds to run that play, could it?
It did.
Said it did. They got their little miniature pass rusher in there now.
The range of the Jacksonville kicker, the field goal range.
Well, Grant Guthrie, of course, might be called on here anytime. Third down coming up, and about 17 to 18 yards to go, almost 18. 10 seconds to go. Tom Sherman, Kay Stevenson might want to give it one more shot before Grant Guthrie gets the call.
Guthrie's got pretty good range. He still holds the record for the longest field goal any Buffalo kicker. I think 53 or 54 yards. Kind of interesting the way he left there, too. After one of the ball games, and Buffalo wasn't having such a good year, they lost about, I think it was their 10th straight game. Had a little altercation with the quarterback and ended up punching him in the mouth, and they figure when you lose 10 in a row, it's easier to get rid of a kicker than a quarterback. Good accuracy kicking.
Third down, 18. The ball in the 40-yard line of New York. Kay Stevenson at quarterback for Jacksonville. Down the sideline and out of bounds is Tom Whittier, the wide receiver for whom the pass was intended. 4 seconds to go now. And Grant Guthrie, number 7, gets the call. Whittier was out of bounds. Had he caught that ball, it would have been incomplete. He was 2 or 3 yards out of bounds. Tom Whittier, number 83. So now comes Guthrie to see if he can give Jacksonville the lead at halftime with 4 seconds remaining. Remember, next Thursday night we'll be in Memphis to bring you the game between the Portland Storm and the Memphis Southmen. All right, this will be from the 47-yard line, which would make it a 57-yard kick with Stevenson holding and Grant Guthrie, number 7. Going to be short of the mark and into the end zone, and the ball will be brought back. It will not be brought back. There's the gun ending the first half, although the clock still showed a couple of seconds left to play. So that's the end of the first half with the score. The Jacksonville Sharks 7 and the New York Stars 7. And we'll return in a moment with our exciting halftime show.
Ben Franklin never wrote about Boone's Farm, Strawberry Hill.
With agents in the yellow pages.
Our exciting halftime activities will begin in just a moment. First, let's pause for station identification. This is the TBS Television Network.
Peter Fonda and Susan George are Dirty Mary and Crazy Larry.
Hold on, baby.
You better run now, you better move it back, you better fly. Nobody gets away with it, smacking law and order.
Dirty Mary and Crazy Larry. There's nothing they won't try. Rated PG.
Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, there's nothing they won't try. Now at theaters everywhere.
This is the bank of the future. Chase Manhattan's convenience banking center in Grand Central, where machines give you cash, take your deposits, help speed up loan approvals, even a computer that answers your financial questions instantly. Chase Manhattan in Grand Central Terminal. Opens early, closes late. Saturday hours, too. Whatever you do for a living, you have a friend at Chase Manhattan.
This is WOR-TV, New York.
Well, at halftime, our score here at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, the New York Stars 7 and the Jacksonville Sharks 7. You know, the World Football League is bringing you new dimensions and excitement in pro football. And now let's meet the man who's made it all possible, the founder and commissioner of the WFL, Mr. Gary Davidson. And, Commissioner, I know you must be tremendously pleased at the great enthusiasm which has been accorded the WFL games to date last night and tonight by the hundreds of thousands of fans across the country.
Well, Merle, being pleased is an understatement. I'm overwhelmed. I'm awed. I'm having a hard time realizing how successful our openings have been. The fans here tonight are as wild and enthusiastic as the fans were last night in Birmingham, and it looks as though the game is going to become very exciting in the second half.
Now, what financial impact would a game like Birmingham last night, or let's take the whole league, 12 cities, 12 areas, what kind of financial impact is the World Football League going to have on these communities?
Well, it's pretty interesting, Merle. You know, we have over 1,200 people employed full-time in the league now. On any given game night, we have 5,000 full-time employees. We're paying somewhere around $2 million to different cities for rental. We have all kinds of advertisers involved. We have a phenomenal impact on the fans. Economically, this has been a very successful thing for the people involved, from the cities down to the players.
You know, Gary, I think the thing that's astounded so many people is the efficiency with which the league was put together in really such a relatively short time.
Well, I think it really is because God is blessed with some excellent people helping me. Don Regan, Max Mulliman, Don Anderson have all had experience in putting new leagues together and have been very helpful, and we were able to get to work right away of bringing outside people in different franchises where they were very involved from the moment they got started, and we worked 24 hours a day to do it.
You know, I spotted in the crowd of 60,000 here tonight a couple of young Davidsons, I think, down in the stands.
Yeah, my boys have had to miss me a little bit, so I brought them along on the opening games, and they're very excited to be here, and they're really enjoying it.
Those poor kids, though, they can't carry pennants for any team, can they? When their dad's the commissioner, they can't show partiality.
I told them they could not root for the Suns, but I haven't been able to enforce that too hard.
Commissioner, thank you so much for guesting with us tonight, and congratulations to you and your staff on a tremendous job of putting the World Football League together, and so efficiently, and having such exciting games here on our first go-around.
Merle, thank you for being with us.
Gary Davidson, the commissioner of the World Football League. Well, here's another man who is playing a major role in what you're seeing tonight, the president of the TBS television network, Mr. Eddie Einhorn. Eddie, each year, TBS will cause us a 6-minute delay. They are restoring the power at this time, and we are told it takes 6 minutes to really get these big lights going once again. Our halftime score here at the Gator Bowl tonight, in our WFL game of the week, the New York Stars 7 and the Jacksonville Sharks 7. Alvin Wyatt, on an 87-yard touchdown return, thrilled this crowd of 59,112 paid here this evening at the Gator Bowl. And then the New York Stars coming back late in the first half to tie it up. And here are the statistics for the first half. New York 11 first down to Jacksonville's 4. 82 yards rushing by the Stars to 24 for Jacksonville. 78 yards passing by the Stars to 38 for Jacksonville. 160 yards total offense to 82 for Jacksonville. And what happened in the first half was that the New York Stars won the battle but didn't win the war, and didn't lose it either. Although the statistics favor the Stars, we have a halftime score of 7-7. And we will wait now for another several minutes before our lights have been restored here at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville. Well, we have not been told why the lights have gone out. It could be because it was very warm here in Jacksonville today, and possibly the transformers or the electric supply in this area just couldn't handle it. We were in another part of the country the other night in a ballpark where the lights went out for the same reason. A lot of people like to use air conditioning when it's 105 degrees or so. But here in Jacksonville, the fans, the partisan fans, have enjoyed it all as they have watched their Jacksonville Sharks make their debut in the World Football League tonight before an extremely successful crowd of 59,112. And so that gives the WFL, for the 6 games played, the 5 last night and tonight, almost a 45,000 average for those ball games. We're going to locate Alex Hawkins and George Plimpton now and talk a little football and so forth while we wait for the lights to come on. This kind of reminds me of the brownout in New York. George, where were you when the brownout took place?
I've never seen light go out so quickly in my life. I thought something had gone wrong inside my head. Every single thing went out in this park, and a great roar went up, and then you could see the lights on the bridge across the way, and you knew they hadn't gone completely there. But that was about as much light go out in 1 second as I've ever seen.
As an author, what would you write about?
I'd write about that for the moment. It seems to be freshest in my mind.
Yeah, wouldn't you imagine something like it would happen on the first ball game? Everything's going to get its bugs out of it, doesn't it, Merle?
Yeah, well, you know, speaking of bugs, I am really amazed at the fine play that we've had here in the game tonight, the execution I'm talking about, and also the execution of the game over at Birmingham last night, which we had access to film-wise and scouting-wise, and also the other games in Chicago and Memphis and Philadelphia and Orlando.
What are your impressions of the first half, what you've seen? What did you expect to see from the World Football League teams when you came down, George?
Well, I thought that possibly one would see how the innovations worked more. But really, there hasn't been that much of a surprise, has there? It's been, I mean, what I should ask you this. Is there anything that surprised you? Can you tell any difference between, can you tell what's happened with the new rules and that? It's made it different.
No, it's really been pretty much similar to the football being played, with one exception. I think we probably might have had a couple more field goals kicked. But then again, you know how people, as they get closer to the goal, tend to get more conservative. The Stars might not have scored a touchdown if they could have been kicking field goals at the time.
Right. Well, you know, one thing. Let me add one thing before we go away here now. Remember, the kickers objected to the rule of moving the crossbars, you know, back 10 yards to the back of the end zone. They said it would make it a punter's game, and they would kick for the coffin corner. They did it once, that's all, tonight.
Well, of course, that might have been a kick to the corner that was returned by Alvin White. It can go both ways if it's not, you know, high enough. And that's what it did. It kind of might have backfired on him.
All right, I think we're going to be underway here again very shortly in Jacksonville, Florida. The teams are back on the field, and we'll be back in a moment now with the start of the second half. The second half of tonight's game is brought to you by Chevrolet. Many Chevrolet dealers are featuring year-end savings now. Another reason why we say Chevrolet makes sense for America. And by Fireman's Fund Insurance, which is brought to you by independent agents in your area.
When Carol Maloney's
Jacksonville, but the candle power has not been built up to the point that we will be able to resume the game. I believe this is a mercury-type lighting, and it takes 6-7 minutes for it to become the full candle power that is required. Now, this is the Fireman Fun Gang that's going to be traveling around the World Football League this year. They're from San Francisco, and they entertain the fans before the game, during the game, and after the game. 59,112 looking on.
Merle, if we got 7 or 8 minutes to kill, we could go ahead and let him go. George explain the yard marker thing for us.
No, we're going to need. I'm sorry, we're going to need longer than that for me to explain the.
You want to get back into that again?
Well, here it comes. Take a look at the thing. Where is it?
Yeah. All right. Now, where did you leave off now?
I forgot. Maybe I better start from the beginning. The object that you see there is the dicker rod.